Hello everyone, my name is Ark and welcome back to another SH Figuarts review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the one and only Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. I'm so happy that Tamashii was able to actually get the license to make Demon Slayer figures, because the other figures by Busmod and other companies are quite expensive, and this is a nice entry point where they're actually making an affordable Tanjiro. So, without further ado, let's get him out and see what he comes with. Alright, so here we have Tanjiro in a lot of great detail, honestly. So, to start off, I'm going to put some images comparing him to other figures that I have in my collection, so you guys can get a glimpse or an idea as to how he fares in terms of accuracy for his height, which necessarily isn't going to be always the greatest. But he looks absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. Now, the first couple of complaints that I saw when this was announced is that they didn't make his little coat thingy, I forget what it's called, into a cloth, when they were going ham with a lot of cloth announcements like Makima and Super Saiyan Gohan at the time. So people were a little disappointed until they saw that this is a $35 figure. He is quite cheap, to say the least. And honestly, after testing him a little bit, he might be the best figure of 2024 in my opinion. Now, taking a closer look at him, the shading in his hair is immaculate. The transitioning between that purplish, reddish tone to the brown sections is perfect in my opinion. And there's a lot of intricate cuts in the mold to give you such decent, and in my opinion, decent range for the head. But I think the paint job is done wonderfully. Really, like, honestly, I'm so happy as to how he turned out. Even the print on the face looks beautiful. He looks exactly like he does in the anime. And these little earrings might be an issue to some, so be careful in not snapping them by putting too much pressure on the head when turning it, so do be careful with those. But he does look amazing in terms of the head sculpt. This little robe that he has throughout his body, his coat really, is very well done. I think they did a wonderful job in terms of painting the joints and also the transition in between the squares of green and black in terms of being able to match the actual sculpt. So that's really nice. The only section that is not painted is the shoulder joints, where they're just green ball joints. So, not too bad, really. Now, for his regular Demon Slayer corpse outfit, it looks great. I like the matte finish that he has throughout it. He really has more of a glossy finish for this coat and more of a satin finish, sort of matte finish, with the actual Demon Slayer Corp outfit. He looks really good overall. I will say it's kind of jarring that his socks or his feet are the same color as his outfit, so it's kind of weird. But I can't really complain. You do have the cuts right here, so you can get more range of movement, which we will get to now. In terms of articulation, for the head, you can look side to side pretty well, honestly. No, resistance at all. Very good. Looking forward, looking down, actually, about that much. You could probably get a little bit more. There we go. That is good articulation, in my opinion. That is good range. Looking up, pretty decent as well. Not bad at all. And then, of course, you can swivel side to side if you want as well. He does have the neck joint, that helps him a lot in terms of the articulation. For the arms, you can, of course, T-pose him definitely get a little bit more range than that too, based on how they did the hinge joints for the shoulders, which is great. You can rotate it a full 360 degrees. Just do be careful while using that, because there is a little bit of resistance on my end, which okay, wait, there we go. So do be careful with these joints. You can rotate it 360 degrees, but I wouldn't advise it to do it so much to the point where you're gonna break it. The arms, you do have your bicep swivel, which mostly rotates at the shoulder for the most part, but you can get that range of movement there. You do have your elbow joint, which I think was done beautifully. It very much matches the actual paint job, so that's good. And of course, you have your hand swivel and hinge combo, which is not bad, pretty good nonetheless. Now, the torso, I like how they did this torso. I think this is how they should have done Makima, but I'm not going to talk about that too much here. To where you can get a good ab crunch. You will get some gaps here, which kind of sucks. They probably could have made this a little bit better. Honestly, to be honest, they probably could have put a piece in between here to cover this section, but then you wouldn't have as much range going backwards, which again will leave you with a big gap in the middle. Kind of sucks in terms of the ab crunch and everything, so a lot of gaps there that you could probably hide in the posing section, or when posing this figure. So you also have your swivel to side and or leaning side to side and swivel however you want. And of course, we do have these joints in the back here to help you with the range of movement however you want, pretty much. So there is that. He does have a sculpted butt, but it's not that big, so that means that we get a good articulation on the legs as well. Full splits all the way, very good. Thank you, Mitsuri, for teaching Tanjiro how to do the splits and make them more flexible. If you understand that, you've definitely seen season 4 of Demon Slayer. Kicking forward that far, kicking backwards, pretty decent. You can definitely do the splits forwards as well. Very similar to the Zycor that I reviewed last week. You do have your thigh swivel, and this knee joint is probably one of the best knee joints I've seen in a whole while. Look at how smooth that transitioning is. That is perfect, and you do get some shadows here and there, so that's very good. For the foot, you can go forward this much and backwards this much. And of course, you have your toe hinge. Not the greatest toe hinge. This is very weirdly sculpted to just be like that instead of hiding it more, but it works nonetheless. So I think in articulation, this guy is beautifully done. They definitely knocked it out of the park, especially for a figure that's a general release, or quote unquote a general release, that you could probably get for a cheap price. Again, this guy's $35, and that amount of articulation is perfect. Now, let's hop onto the accessories, because this guy, again, comes with a lot of things. Alright, so in terms of accessories, Tanjiro comes with 3 different faceplates. We start with the happy facial expression faceplate, which honestly captures the likeness of Tanjiro when he's smiling very well. We also have a teeth gritting faceplate, which looks really good. Again, the detail on these are really good, honestly. I love it. We also have a shouting facial expression, which every figure should have. And honestly, again, it looks very well painted. For the hand gestures, we have 2 different hands that are extended forward, sort of like attacking hands, I guess. 2 relaxed hands that you can have with your figure as well. And of course, the most important ones, the sword holding hands with the holes in the middle. Now, we do have 2 different swords, which I did not know this was the case when it was announced. We have his regular sword that comes with his own handguard, which is awesome looking. And we also have Rengoku's handguard sword, which also looks really good. And then we also have a separate handguard for not only Rengoku, but also Tanjiro's, and the sheath that you can use to put those handguards on. And you do have to match it with the actual hole, by the way. There is a hole here. You can see it's kind of like cut as a shield shape, sort of. So you have to match it and then just place it in easily. Do be careful. Don't be reckless. Do it slowly. Otherwise, you might break it. Not saying that this figure is super expensive, but you never want to spend double on the same figure. Now, for my final thoughts. Honestly, this figure is amazing. I'm gonna cut straight to the chase and giving this figure a 10 out of 10. I'm so shocked as to how good this figure is, not only in terms of the aesthetic, accuracy to the anime, and also articulation. The articulation is some of the best I've seen out of Tamashii so far. And it really reminds me a lot of an earlier figure that I reviewed earlier this year, which was Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen. And honestly, that guy was a 9, I think, but this guy is a complete 10 out of 10. Yes, there is some gaps, but for me, I don't think that's an issue. I think he just looks good overall. And I'm, again, baffled as to how good they're starting this line off. Nezuko releases this month. I'm recording this August 2nd. So if she's as good as this Tanjiro, my god, are we in for an amazing line of figures that are relatively more affordable than the bus mod and other companies like the Figma, but are also going to be like really high quality, which this is what SH Figuarts should be. A good amount of accessories for a $35 figure. He comes with the usual things like 3 different sets of hand gestures and 3 faceplates, but no, he also comes with a sword. That's awesome. Now, I will say, based on what Tamashii does, I would not be surprised if later down the line they release another Tanjiro that has Nezuko's box with them with a tiny Nezuko. So just be on the whereabouts of that, because we don't know if that might happen. But I honestly don't care. This figure is perfect. Let me know what you guys think. I would like to know your thoughts down in the comments. And that is all the time I have for you guys today. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.